Historic District meeting November 30th, 2022. I have a statement to read before we begin. The qualifications of the members of the commission, the staff of the commission, and any consultants used are on file with the town and are hereby made part of each and every application heard tonight. The guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made part of each and every application. Each application heard tonight is considered on its own merits and is not considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. The historic design guidelines have been adopted by the town of Sykesville in accordance with Article 6B, 8.06A of the and follow the recommendations of the United States Secretary of the Interior. The Sykesville Historic District Commission follows Robert's Rules of Order with the exception that the chairperson votes. Okay. The agenda is up on the screen as everybody can see. The first item on the agenda is the meeting minutes from October 25th, 2022. Have you guys had an opportunity to review those minutes? Is there any questions about those minutes or changes or alterations?
I haven't seen them.
Okay, is there a motion to approve them?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I better second. Even though I have not read them.
Please review them. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Agenda item number 2, continuation of application 2022-21 for an awning on 732 Oklahoma Avenue. Is the applicant?
This is the French twist. They're not here. I think the only thing that was outstanding was the
Color?
Well, it was the color and the material of the awning itself.
You guys had an opportunity to look at it?
No.
Okay, is this the color, the actual color?
Yes.
It was the material, I think, that was holding everything up.
Right. So I think the material that was presented was actually a different material than what this is. But I think when they went back to try to get a sample of it, they just changed the material to something that's been approved before in town. So that's what that is.
It's the same material as the firehouse.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Since we approved that one.
Right.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve? Application 2020-21 for the awning at 73 Oklahoma Avenue?
I'll make a motion to approve application 2022-21 for the awning at 732 Oklahoma Avenue, since we had talked about it at the last meeting, and the only stipulation was to see the fabric that it's made out of, and we have seen it.
Okay. Have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, agenda number 3, continuation of application 2022 for siding, window, and shutter replacements on 7318 Springfield Avenue. I don't believe the applicant's here this evening. So we just...
What you can do is push it until later in the meeting to see if he does show up, and if he doesn't, then I would table it until our next meeting.
All right, we can move that to the end of the meeting potentially.
Carrie, did the applicant provide us with samples of the pillar?
No, in his email confirming he would be here, he said he would bring it with him.
Okay.
Now, that was back before Thanksgiving, so it might have gotten dates confused there, but
Too much turkey.
too much turkey.
Okay, so we'll just table that until later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, item number 4 on the agenda, consider, discuss, act on the application 2023 for a hanging business sign at 7540 Main Street. Can you come to the podium and present your application?
So we're taking over from an existing business. So that's the
Sorry.
left. Okay. That's the left side of the building. There's 2 signs there, and then that'll be the logo on the sign itself. That's where the old sign was hanging, and the proposed sign. It's like the rough dimensions: 30 inches wide, 24 inches down. The bottom of the sign is, I think it's over 8. I think it's like 8.5-ish feet from the sidewalk, and the outer edge of the sign is like 4.5 feet from where the curb meets the street. So we're working with Shannonbaum signs. They've done all the signs here on the street. So they're familiar on types of materials and things to use. I don't know what the exact material, that's what the skate shop's made of, and most of them, it's kind of like a resiny plastic type material. I don't know the name of it, but that's kind of what we had talked about with Shannon Baum.
Tyler, the hook that was existing, it's not being moved. You're just gonna hang your sign right up on it.
Yep, it's staying right there, yep.
I didn't see on your application any indication of the sizing of the letters. Do you know offhand if they meet the guidelines between 6 and 10 inches? Because they appear to be larger, I mean, scale-wise, if I was to put that on a 30 by 42. it works.
Yeah.
So, under recommendation awning signs, I guess that would fall, does that fall under the same criteria, awning signs as in hanging signs?
No, this would just be a hanging sign.
Is there any requirement for lettering size on hanging signs? I would assume there is.
I don't believe so.
No, so it can be any
It's the
scale.
dimension of the sign and how far it is off the sidewalk. That's-
Okay, so there's no requirement. Any conversation about the application of the sign?
No.
Okay, Mike, how you doing?
Well, basically, they meet the criteria that's explained in the town of Sykesville's requirements for signs. They're over 8 feet from the sidewalk, and they're less than 6 feet in square inches, square feet. Square inches wouldn't be where to put it though.
Okay.
But, as far as I can tell, I don't see any issue here.
Okay. Does anyone make a motion to approve application 2022 to 23 for hanging business sign at 7540 Main Street? Looks like you're on the spot tonight.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the signs. There's two, a different one on each side at 20, and it's application number 2223. And it's, street address here.
7540.
7540 Main Street, right here in town. It meets all the criteria that we require as far as height from sidewalk and size of sign. It's less than our maximum size.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great night. You too.
Good luck.
Thank you. Next agenda item, consideration, discuss, act on application 2022-24 for hanging business sign at 731 Oklahoma Avenue.
So this is the town's application for a new sign down at the post office. So again, this is a result of some other improvements that the town has done to the building itself. So if you haven't noticed, it's been painted, it's been some of the landscaping's been updated. There's some interior renovations that the town's about to do, but obviously once you start messing with the outside of the building, you realize that the sign that was on it didn't do the building any justice. So we want to put a nice new hanging sign there, and this is the design that we've agreed on. Again, it is with Shannon Baum, so like anybody else, it's the same material and same style as kind of what you see on Main Street, except it's round. I don't know if there's any round signs anywhere. It'll go on I guess that's the north face of the building, basically to the left of the entrance there. I can't remember if is this the updated one?
I think so.
It looks like it. So yeah, it'll be there on the north face. I think the application had a 28-inch round sign. It's actually going to be like 24.5 inches. We had to shrink it down a little bit just so we can meet some of the height requirements. It's gonna be hung all the way up to basically the bottom of that parapet right there that goes around. So it'll be as high as it can be off the sidewalk.
And where that sign's actually, the bottom of that sign actually is not above the sidewalk. People are
Right.
walking-
Yeah. There's
people are
that.
walking
That
there.
it's that little landscaped area, but it's still gonna be as high as it can be.
And there's no illumination to the sign.
No illumination.
Any questions, comments? Do you want to make a motion to approve application 2022-24 for hanging bags business sign at 731 Oklahoma Avenue?
I'd like to make a motion to approve application 20, there's too many 20s in this.
2022.
24, which is the hanging sign on at
731 Oklahoma.
731 Oklahoma Avenue. The size criteria is less than the maximum size we require, and it's only it's 7 feet off of the flat portion, the driveway, or not driveway, it's the landscaping and sidewalk. It's only 7 feet up, but nobody walks in that area, so it shouldn't be a problem. Plus with the round sign, people would not be walking close enough to even hit it if we had unless we have a very tall person walking.
Okay. Is there a motion to second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries for 2022-24. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 6, consider to discuss application 2022-25 for a new porch, garage siding, and windows at 7411 Springfield Avenue. You gentlemen, the applicant?
Yeah.
Mind stepping to the podium and explaining your application?
We just here, just good night, everybody.
Hi.
I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
We just here, to see what we have to do to get approval, the permit, because I know the permit is in whole from the city,
Mm-hmm.
and that way we are here, what we need to do, and that way we can follow up.
Okay, can you explain what you're looking for then underneath your permit for the new porch? Have they submitted materials or anything of that nature? So, I'm sorry, your name is?
Jorge.
Jorge. As part of our guidelines, we're gonna need like material selections provided to us.
Actually, I have a drawing right here with the material, what we're using.
Okay. Sharing with us?
This is the front porch. I mean, the rear porch.
Okay, so that's a framing plan. But we're actually more concerned with like actual finishes, right? So what type of shingles are you gonna be using on the roof?
Shingles. Shingles. What kind?
What kind?
Lama.
But we need to see the actual finishes, the actual samples of the material.
You need to see the
used.
examples.
Yes.
Okay.
So anything that your garage siding, for instance, if you're replacing the siding on it, we need to see a sample of what you're proposing to use.
I already sent it to you, the color.
Did you?
Yes.
When?
And what's a vinyl siding?
I already sent it to you.
When? Is it the same stuff that you want to put on the house?
Yes.
Yeah,
Vinyl or hardy?
vinyl.
Remember everybody approved the vinyl, the garage,
The garage.
the back side of the
And the
house.
backside of the
Yes.
house, the rear house.
Remember?
Yes.
Okay. So the garage, I already put it there, vinyl siding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the porch, just tell me what you want to do.
No, but I think we said last time that we are only going to approve certain portions of the building to have vinyl siding, and the rest of the siding would have to be a hardy siding.
Hardy siding, correct?
Yeah, so
He had just only the garage and the rear of the house. We had a vinyl siding.
that's correct.
Yes.
And then the rest gonna be hardy.
Hardy siding.
Hardy.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you submit a sample of the hardy siding?
He did send that to us after the last meeting, which I think was in July. And I sent it around, and you were all happy with that.
Okay. What
And you
about?
said it was going to
Any
be.
colors for the siding?
No.
Doesn't matter color. Yes, hardy siding.
Okay, so it's a 6-inch, 7-inch reveal.
It's 7-inch review.
Okay. What about your window selection?
The main house remain existing.
Okay, because it says on here in windows, it's 7411 Springfield
Yeah,
Avenue.
I think he's talking about the garage, because the garage they got like wood, like all over.
So you want to replace the windows on the garage, is what you're
Yes, the
asking?
garage.
Mhm.
Okay.
No, the house.
Okay, but what windows are you going to be replacing them with?
And the garage,
Yes,
vinyl.
vinyl. Okay.
Mhm.
Do you have a manufacturer or
It's,
elevations or anything?
American standard.
Okay. We need to see the elevation of what the window is actually going to look like for the
It's a-
backside.
It's a 24 by 32.
I understand that, but we need to see if it has a mullion configuration difference. We need to see what the actual window is going to look like. So if you could, you have elevations or,
Do you have a picture of the window?
Now the windows you're going to replace.
I can bring a piece of paper right now because it's not far away.
oh, well, if you could just email it in or something.
Yes, me.
Yeah, because it's American standard. The size is the same size they have at the house. So
Okay.
you make any big and small.
Okay,
Same remain existing.
where are the windows located on the garage? Are they on the back side facing the street, or are they on the side of the garage? Which side are they on?
Believe me, I don't want to put the windows because they got too many windows. But they got two. I copied to you the windows before.
Not in the garage, just in the house.
I think there was a discussion last time about what is actually frontage of the building, right? Because we have
Right.
two street sides to this building, right?
Right.
So the guidelines read frontage of street. Well, the front of the house is actually considered the back of the house in some ways, but there's really no designation of what the front of the house is based off the street location. So
I think you got a picture.
But it has an address on Main Street, which means the front of the house is, that portion of the house is what faces Main Street also. I understand what you're saying, there's a street behind,
Estás en la calle.
and so do our guidelines cover that garage whatsoever since they're on the back side and it's not primary address front?
Yes, so the guidelines cover anything within the Historic District Commission, or within the Historic District, sorry. Whether or not it faces the street has relevance to certain parts of it. Typically, it's what's from a public right-of-way. I know the siding has that. I don't know if the windows have that as part of the guidelines. But if it's a public right-of-way that's historically significant or not is not defined in the guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we were talking about last time. I think it was June or July.
Did we talk about whether the garage was
To the name.
historic?
I believe you all settled on it wasn't, but I'm not sure.
This is the back with the post.
Is there any photos of the garage?
This is,
I have
see, same side. This is the side to
One.
the,
that
other
one,
side.
or that one.
This is the
It
front.
says windows and doors located on the side or rear facades are often informally arranged. So it does mention the rear of the house.
Are you considering this front porch as the front on Springfield?
It's the address front.
Okay.
So we're just
It's
considering what
considered
the
Main
garage
Street.
is. So if he's just primarily talking about window replacement in the garage, is that primary facade, which doesn't really elaborate under the guidelines for window replacement. It just mentions windows and doors located on side or rear facades are often informally arranged.
Where is the garage in reference
It's on the,
to?
it's on the back side, left-hand corner.
Behind that big tree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carrie, do you have access to your email there?
Yes.
You might have two new emails that show the garage a little bit. If I typed your name correctly. Still getting used to it.
You can still send it to Cheney. It still shows up.
So it says here, maintain and repair original locations, designs, frames, sills, transoms, and then fan sidelights visible from public right-of-way or contributing buildings.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
and
if
we raised the
garage is-
question whether it was a
Yeah.
contributing building before, and I think we said it wasn't.
Not anymore. Nobody idea how many town tries to take it out of the house. No, nobody.
That's what the existing garage looks like.
Looks pretty old.
Can you see that far?
I can see it, and I've seen it in person.
The question is it a contributing building?
It looks like it has the wood siding to it.
It has the teardrop cedar shake siding in the gable, matching the building, what we're looking on the top screen,
No, it's a
horizontal.
Pine. If he said that, I believe him. Because it's very expensive.
So how many windows in total is it going to be replacement on the garage? Do you know?
I got the pictures.
So it appears that we approved the garage siding last time, so that shouldn't even be on this agenda really, right, if it's already been approved.
That's 6 windows,
Mm-hmm.
1 door, and 1 garage door.
So that's also gonna be replaced, the garage door and the access door?
Yes.
Okay.
You got the picture, right? I think I sent it with the picture. What did they do right now with the front to the garage?
Mm-hmm.
This,
So this all hinges on if it's a contributing building. If it's a contributing building, then we're gonna need samples of the garage door and access door. If it's not a contributing building,
I didn't put it the garage door right now.
what's that?
I didn't put it the garage door right now.
It's not installed yet.
It's not installed.
I know, we understand. Oh, so the siding's already been replaced?
Yes.
Okay, here,
The neighbors, close to the neighbors.
the one that.
And you replaced the roofing already too.
Yeah.
The roofing was architectural shingles?
Architecture shingles. You see the door on the right side?
Yeah,
Replaced too.
that's original.
It was with an outhouse.
Original plywood.
Yeah.
So
So you're gonna replace it in kind with the same windows that you have there shown? Are they,
same. No more.
Same
big-
size.
Same size. Nothing more big, no more small.
I mean, I would argue it's a contributing building because it has a stone foundation existing. Right? I don't see
Yes.
anything there saying it's non-contributing building.
No, the foundation of the house and the garage is very solid.
So what I'm trying to explain is our guidelines say that contributing buildings, you have to maintain the facade. So the siding, the windows, the whole point of the historic district is to maintain historic character of the buildings and the contributing factor of them.
Okay.
So this building, since it has a rumble foundation and existing, falls within those guidelines is what we're saying, is that if it has windows, it has to be replaced with windows that are in kind. So can you go back to, is there any pictures of the existing windows? Well, there's no window.
There might be one on the
That was the
side.
side.
There might be one other picture.
That was the picture.
So it's deteriorated enough where there's nothing existing
There you
that
go.
is a contributing factor. Is that what we would say?
That's the windows.
When the house was purchased, this is the sales photos, they're all boarded up.
So there's nothing left.
Mm-mm.
Okay. You're lucky. You're lucky. All right. So I think we need to make a motion, gentlemen, that approves the siding selection, the window selection, the single selection, potentially, I'm not sure what sort of door you're going to be installing in there or garage door.
Okay, the door, glass, vinyl, 32 inches.
Okay. Just keep in mind, when you're selecting a door or a garage door, nothing shiny in material.
No,
Not shiny.
It's
Matte,
not
white, or whatever like that.
White.
Matte finish,
White.
not shiny.
No, sir.
Okay.
Everything white. White door, white garage door, white door.
Okay.
And the garage door can be wood or metal or
Aluminum.
aluminum.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
What are you putting up at the top?
Window.
That big window, or are you gonna make it a different size?
Believe me, I want to match with it at the back side. Because this is door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they got door. I don't know who came.
Probably to throw out
Or
the hay.
probably a loft
Yeah.
for like hay or something.
No, because the guy stairs inside.
Was that?
The guy stairs.
oh really? There's stairs in the back.
Mm-hmm. You can.
Well,
Ah.
that would be okay
If
to
you-
get up there
if
in the
you-
loft to throw out the hay. That's,
That's small though for hay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
It's only for storage or something.
Something. Unless
But
there's a
the-
mechanic or
It
something. Which,
probably served a practical purpose at some point, like
pulling engines or something.
pulling engines or something like that.
Only what I saw, a lot of stuff. Chairs, old,
Look like a storage.
clothes.
Okay. Any more discussion or comments on this application?
I didn't hear what they were going to do with that opening.
Garage door opening? Or the top opening?
Top.
The top.
The window.
He say window.
The window.
Are you gonna match the existing opening or are you gonna put a smaller size in there?
I want to match with the back side.
Okay,
The
so
back
the,
side.
the backside elevation, he wants to match the window.
I don't know if you have a back picture. Did we get one of those?
No.
Yeah.
We only got the two sides of the front. You gotta,
Oh, you can roughly see it there. Skewed.
More or less.
This house was a mess when you bought it.
do you have an original picture?
This is this. No. No, but it's an opening.
While you're looking at that picture, on your application, it has new porch. The new porch would be on the front of the house, correct?
Yeah, it's inside.
Yeah, it's this back wraparound
Yeah.
porch what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So they're the items we're gonna need additional information on, like how you're wrapping the columns, architecturally.
I do whatever you want. You want a PVC? I already bought the PVC. I
Yeah.
have the PVC.
You need to come to us and say it's what you want to, either work with an architect or come up with a design yourselves or something.
What I design in my mind right now, I want to grab the entire board, the PVC, and the column too.
And but we actually need to see the profiles of what you're using, right? You can't just say you're using PVC. We need to say, I'm gonna be using a banister that has this profile that's curved or it's square. We need to see that.
It's square.
I know, but we need to see it. So what I'm gonna say for this application is we can approve your siding for the garage, potentially, if everybody agrees on this. We'll approve the windows on the garage. The garage door and the overhead door for the garage will be approved. But until we get further information of how the porch is gonna be finished, the decking.
My boss he got picture because
That's the picture of the column. It's gonna look like this. And we're gonna wrap it all the way. That one is PVC.
Do we know what was taken out?
Gone. If you see the images up there, there's new post.
we're gonna mandar un email.
Is there guidelines on PVC?
I mean, the issue is that the work's been done prior to the permit being issued, and then the historical characters that have been removed, we no longer can compare them to, right? Unless we can find some photos of the existing conditions. And so there's the existing conditions. So, sir, as you see here in the elevation, this is the existing conditions that were there prior.
Same size.
So you're gonna replace everything in kind as it's shown in this picture?
I tear down because everything is right. You see?
No, but I'm asking, you have a knee wall there for the porch that has cedar shake on it, that is historic.
You want it that like that, or I can put. I want it. What I thinking right now, I put the handrails.
Yeah, so the guidelines read a certain way that historic characters need to be maintained for the building, right? So as you see here, before you started demolition in the project, this was the historic character that was original to the building, right? Since then, you've removed the historic character, fundamental pieces of the building that are part of the fabric of the building. These items need to be replaced in kind. We have pictures documenting this is a historic building in the front. So we need to replace that in kind. There's fluted columns in the front, right? So the columns need to be replaced with what was originally presented here in the building.
Okay.
Okay, so you just can't put any PVC column in and say it's fine because we had existing conditions that need to be replaced. If you would have left the conditions, I know they're rotted and stuff, they could have been replicated in some way. Or you need to have an elevation that kind of mimics this elevation to preserve the historic character of this building. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
So we understand you're just going to make it nice and you're going to buy new products and stuff of that nature, but we're trying to maintain the historic character of the building. So there's certain items in this elevation that we're seeing right now that need to be preserved. And that's why I'm saying we need to know what materials you're using. Like for the siding on the bottom where the handrails are, this knee wall is, you're gonna have to replace that with either a hardy single shake siding or something of that nature that represents what was currently there.
So, hello, brother.
Mm-hmm.
So hardy siding, like look like chase siding, right?
Yes, correct.
That's
Okay.
what you want.
Well, that's what was there. So
That
we
was-
have to replicate
Was
it.
there?
It's fine. It's fine. No,
Okay, we're gonna wrap it, the column the way it's, was, I think you wanted the front and the rear part too, right? The same.
Correct.
Okay, because I think that one was wood column, wrap it with wood.
Mm-hmm.
That was the way you wanted to wrap it with wood.
I mean, the material could be subjective to.
Subjected to PVC?
Yeah, I mean, if it matches the same design
The same
criteria,
size, yeah.
yeah.
We're gonna make a match,
It's already
It
been.
will.
So if the columns were still there and they're in decent shape, we would tell you to revise those columns and bring them back to life, right? We tell them to sand them down, fix whatever rotted treatment it is, and try to keep the columns. If they were rotted, you destroyed or took them out, demolition. Okay, we understand that process. But we need to preserve the historic character. So if you're gonna use PVC, wood, whatever the nature is, we prefer you use wood. But if you're gonna use PVC, it has longevity to it, we understand that. But we want you to replicate what was there.
Okay, we're gonna take care of that one, make it look,
Chad, can I question you on that one? I
Yeah.
didn't think that we could allow PVC.
I thought we did. I thought we allowed one time that PVC was allowed for trim. Or is it AZAC that we said? Was it AZAC?
Yes.
AZAC? Do we have that written in the guidelines somewhere, or is that a,
I think
No,
that was
because
just a choice that the HDC made,
okay,
the material choice.
okay. So we've approved AZAC for
Okay.
trim,
we're gonna do ASIC.
okay? It's easier to work with anyway,
Yeah,
so you can cut it.
okay.
That's true. So the handrails. It's a hardy shade siding. Yes, one side, right? Not two sizes.
Well, you're gonna have to finish the backside with something.
No, because in that side, where the people look, you can put like.
Oh, you're talking about the back of the building.
Sometimes I don't understand which part you want.
Are you talking about the backside of this?
backside of the knee wall? Because I'm coming with the other side. Put the
About the
mirrors.
rear picture.
So like
Oh, you're
inside
talking-
of the porch?
Mhm.
Yeah, inside. That's what I say. This is inside. Okay.
So you're talking about this portion, the,
Porch
the inside
side.
of the porch, basically.
Inside too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's inside the porch.
He's talking on the backside of the knee walls.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, that needs to be
it's got a
the
match.
same as the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sell it like shade siding for that.
Mm-hmm.
Very expensive. Yeah.
There's, yeah, well,
Very expensive.
yeah.
It's gonna be, you can use the same hardy backer that you use for your,
For the house.
mm-hmm.
We can use the same one. If we use the same siding for the house, we can use that one, that what you say.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
In the gables, you're using the hardy shake. You can use the hardy shake on this lower side.
On the gable too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Parte del gable.
Yeah, if you go to that front elevation, Carrie, you'll see that there's,
Aquel gable.
see up in the
Ese
gable,
gable.
Mm-hmm.
there's already,
Siding.
Lap siding.
El que le vas a poner a la casa. The same one.
It's shake-
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not lap.
Everything same side. Everything.
Everything gonna be the same. The hardy plan.
The hardy backer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can make it different hardy backer. You can make it shorter to cut it so it'll look like cedar shake if you want.
No.
Okay.
What do you recommend? And what do you want? That's the question.
I mean, that's up to you.
So
I guess one of the points that that you maybe need to understand is that we are here to make judgment about whether it's adequately duplicating what was there before. We are not here to tell you what materials or exactly how you're going to execute the reproduction work.
Okay.
And when you say, what do you want? It's not our call how you do it, but it is our call as to the design that
You want to
use
keep it the same
and
design like it
material
was
you
before?
use.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it happen then. We're gonna.
Mainly on the house, right?
Okay.
And mainly on the front facade that faces Springfield Avenue,
Okay.
right?
We're gonna
Because
keep it-
that's a
we're gonna keep it
contributing
that way.
factor, we need to make sure that that's maintained.
Okay.
Only the gable, shade siding.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
That's what we're gonna do.
No problem.
All right, so is there anything else that we don't know about that you're replacing?
Nope.
Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Believe me, I don't want to spend too much money on that.
I understand.
I take it down around at least 20 town trash.
Mm.
A lot of trash.
Oh, the house inside was nice. Oh my God.
I'm looking at the pictures.
Yeah.
You see the front porch?
When we was walking inside, I said, I don't want to work right here, bro.
You know, George one day, they told me, he said, Nelson, why you tear down and make a new one? I said, I don't think so. They make it worse.
All right, so is there a motion to approve application 2022-25 for new porch, garage siding, and windows at 7411 Springfield Avenue?
Have to do all that stuff.
I mean, it's quite a bit.
What's the number?
It's a 2022-25.
Yeah.
This also entails garage door access door. This doesn't include fascia and trim, does it, on the front of the building for the porch?
Yeah.
It is, but that's gonna be AZEK siding. And
Yeah.
that also needs to adhere to non-glare matte finish white if you're gonna provide it,
Everything
right?
is white.
Okay, just non-reflective, not shiny.
No
Yeah.
orange, no blue,
No gloss.
no purple.
No gloss is what I'm saying, yeah.
No sending. Okay.
It's one of the reasons why we really shy away from PVC. It tends to be too glossy and too shiny.
Okay.
Do I have to articulate all this stuff now, or do you have to repeat
Go
it?
for it.
As discussed.
Huh?
Verbatim.
Well, we're dealing with, is it 2022-25?
Yes.
Correct.
At 7411 Main Street.
Springfield Avenue.
Is it Main Street or Springfield Avenue?
Springfield Avenue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Somebody said Main Street. I should have known that.
It's your road.
Is there two parts to this? We're going to approve for the garage, or is that already done?
No, we're gonna tie it together now. So at first we were gonna separate the porch as a separate permit because we didn't have all the information, but now that they provided what they're doing,
Okay. So for the garage, we're approving, we've already approved the siding, we're going to approve the windows, the door, and the other door. And is that it? That's it for the garage.
The garage door. The garage
Well,
door.
yeah, the back door and the other door.
yeah,
The
overhead door.
yeah, folding door. Well, we're going to approve that, and for the front of the building, we are approving the. I'm
recommending.
We're not. Yeah, okay. We're recommending the columns and the trim.
And knee wall.
And the new.
Well, the knee wall. Yeah, columns, the knee wall, and the trim.
To replace the identical or close to as possible the
Yeah,
existing
they
conditions.
Yeah, they reflect the original design and proportion of the porch as it historically was presented.
Okay,
I think that's it for now.
we hope.
In the material, you want to specify the material?
Well, the wall around the porch is hardy.
Mm-hmm.
The posts are AZAC. And are we talking about the above trim?
The fascia and trim?
The fascia?
That would be AZAC as
AZAC.
well, correct? Yeah, AZAC.
And that'll be AZAC as well.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion?
Good.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. One question I do have is the windows on the existing building or the house, are you proposing to replace them at any point?
No.
Okay.
No. La casa?
Realmente.
No. That's too much.
Well, just let us know if you have anything else that needs to be replaced. Just keep in mind that's a contributing building, so anything that gets replaced in the exterior of this building, you need to come back to us first.
Okay.
Okay.
And what are the next steps from now? She's gonna get approval, for the permit?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So we'll send you an approval letter in the mail, but
Okay.
I'll also let our zoning folks here know.
Okay. Sounds good.
Did you,
Thank you.
replace your roof on the house?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, but they got shingles before. And they rush you, they got shingles. And the top of the house, they got asbestos.
Say that one more time.
The house before, they got shingles. It's 3 top shingles,
So what did you replace it with?
for architect shingles.
Okay,
Same as on the shed.
yeah.
Mhm.
Same ones.
I'm just looking at the picture and I'm like, you better had, before you started anything, replace that roof.
Yes. What anyway?
That's it?
That's it. Thank you,
Okay.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you for your help. Thank you for your help.
Well, it appears is 2022-22, siding window shutter replacement, 7318 Springfield Avenue, is not present this evening, so we'll have to table that for a later date.
I texted him and invited him to show up later and we could handle it when he showed up, but I didn't get a response.
Okay.
Chad, we had a question and maybe you might know an answer before we do a whole bunch of research. He wanted to replace his shutters
Mm-hmm.
with PVC shutters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an alternative material that is used that's not PVC besides wood?
What did we use on the log cabin house down here? The black ones, are they wood?
Oh, I don't know. That's pre my time.
The log cabin.
The
yoga
renovated-
studio.
where the yoga
Oh,
studio is.
yes. That was before me too. I'll have to look into that.
I mean, there's tons of different manufacturers, but obviously the most cost effective is going to be a fiberglass.
I see. I knew that you might know some resources, so fiberglass,
Mm-hmm.
just as long
And
as
it's going to be
not.
strongest because it'll be impact resistant then. So if a little stone or something hit it, it's not going to crack.
Mm-hmm.
So fiberglass would probably be the best solution for that.
Nice.
So, but it'd be nice. I mean, is there shutters on there now, and are they historically accurate?
They're
think
plastic shutters.
Yeah,
Well,
there's plastic.
But on the existing building, was it shutters?
Yes.
It was, okay.
Yeah, because you live right next door. Did your house have shutters when you
When I bought the house, it has plastic shutters.
on yours too? And he wants his working shutters with the levers.
Yeah, he
that you
wants
can-
working shutters and using the hardware that's on the windows.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Well, he's not going to want fiberglass. He's going to want to use wood.
No, he doesn't
No,
want
I,
to use wood.
Well, it's not going to be solid. It's going to be injection molded.
Okay, so that's another suggestion.
Because you're going to swing it around and see the hollow back then,
Mm.
if he wants them operable. So I can look into stuff, but there's different manufacturers of it. I'm sure AZAC or some sort of material like that is available.
Okay,
So, or you can have them fabricated, which would be expensive, but
might as well just go for wood then.
yeah.
So we can have that discussion when he comes because you have some alternative resources for
Sure,
him
yeah.
or materials.
I can look up in the meantime too.
Okay.
Give them some options. Okay,
Mhm.
so I guess that adjourns our meeting.
Well, before we do that, our next meeting would then be December
Yeah.
27th. Do we want to keep that date with the holidays right around then?
I can't.
Actually, we cannot keep that date.
Can't.
We are refinishing the floors in here, and we are not allowed in the building.
Okay,
So we do need to move it then.
okay.
Yeah, couldn't keep that date anyway.
I would just say, unless there's an emergency where we have to call a special meeting,
Mhm.
I would just say we're going to skip December
Skip
and just roll
December.
right into January.
Good call.
I like that idea.
I was asking prior to this evening if there's any opportunity to change the meeting to Wednesday. Moving forward, it's not in our guidelines of when the set date is.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's just, I just travel every Tuesday for work generally, and so,
We've got to accommodate the chair, so that's
no,
what
I mean, I
I'm
don't,
saying.
it's,
No, I mean, Wednesday's fine with me. I don't, Tuesday was fine. Wednesday's fine with me. I don't have any kind of ongoing commitment that went on Wednesday that would represent even a rotating problem.
it's just a lot of times I'm getting home 6 o'clock in the evening from a flight on Tuesday evening, or not even at all, so.
Yeah.
It's just hard for me to commit to Tuesdays a lot of times.
How do you feel about that?
Wednesday should be fine.
Hmm?
Wednesday should be
Yeah.
fine.
Wednesday.
Is it gonna be the 4th? It's not gonna be the 3rd Wednesday?
No, so we would be looking at the 4th, unless you wanted to change it to the 3rd,
No.
but,
No,
yeah.
on the 3rd, it's church council. So I'd be going to church council on the 3rd Wednesday of the month.
So fourth,
We can still keep it the fourth
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
4th works for me.
So then unless we have something emergent come up in December, we're looking at January 25th as our next meeting date.
Okay.
January 26th or the 25th?
25th, the Wednesday. Awesome.
We good?
And then I did have one more, in case you noticed it, at, can't think of the address now, Spout Hill, right near the intersection with Springfield Avenue. It was the old funeral home that's now a house down there.
oh yeah.
There was a very giant, very dead tree threatening some power lines that they took down last Wednesday. It was a very large tree, but he got two arborists to say it was dead and that it needed to come down. So we approved that since it was a danger to public safety.
Shouldn't even be a question.
Speaking of removing trees, if the state or whoever's doing Springfield Avenue
Mm-hmm.
tells you that they have to cut your tree down, you don't have any jurisdiction over that, do you?
Not usually. Yeah, when the state says they gotta take something, they pretty much take it. Is it in the right of way?
It's almost over top the water meter, and I think that's why. It's a silver maple that has very invasive roots, and it sits right there beside the water meter, and evidently they're replacing,
They're gonna replace all the service lines that are through there.
Mm-hmm.
and they've designated that, they said 6 trees were gonna come down, and so we called them, and they said, well, yeah, you're on the list. Our address is one of the sites, so I'm assuming that it's the tree that's right beside the water meter, but it's a huge 43-foot.
Did you ask them to keep it, or did they just?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, I just didn't know whether it was going to be an issue for anybody. They said that they're going to cut 6 trees down.
Can they move the water meter? If they're redoing everything, can't they
Well, the tie-in from the house probably.
It's right beside the sidewalk and right on top of the water meter. So I don't know whether it's the intrusion into the sidewalk or whether it's the water meter
or the roots going into the water system?
or the roots just
And
invading
tunneling
everything.
through, right?
But
We can ask.
they don't inform you which trees they're cutting down.
I mean, I've seen a set of plans for what that is. Whether or not they ask permission for any of that, no. But again, I mean, we're happy to reach out to them and say, hey, if you can save this tree, let's keep it.
That one I don't particularly care
Oh.
because it's a silver. It's
Well,
a
then
silver
never mind.
maple one. It invades your yard and it creates mounds all over your yard. It's an awful tree. I mean, one of the things that
So
my
let's
neighbor
not keep it?
used to say is that when you're landscaping and somebody says silver maple, you say no.
I gotcha. Okay.
It's not recommended.
Well, then we won't
And-
ask them.
And he said it as a tree to be planted. So, I don't know.
We can't ask what they're going to replace it with, because they're going to take a tree down. Then
They said for every tree they take down, they plant a tree. I don't know what caliber tree they plant,
Lowe's, whatever.
but it's got to be a little bit
Too
bigger
big.
than.
Yeah, yeah. Little sapling.
Leftovers from the Boy Scout tree sale.
Just kidding, county. Sorry, just kidding.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Meeting adjourned.
There you go. I have a question. It doesn't have to be on record or anything. I know that in the past you were